Hi, my name is Keith Cooper, Northlight Images, and in this short video I'm going to partially answer a question people ask me regularly, and it's, what kit do you use, Keith? Why do you use it? However, this is a special case because I've got lots of specific kits. I'm a professional photographer. I use the kit that's appropriate to the job. But this is to answer the question, what kit do you take on holiday with you, Keith? Now, I'm going to be heading off to the Suffolk coast for a while, and not unnaturally, given I really like the Suffolk coast, I intend to take a few photos. Now, I won't, because it's a holiday, I won't be particularly annoyed if I don't get a few great photos, but I would be disappointed for it. So what kit am I going to take? This is not to say it's relevant for anyone else, but for anyone who was just curious about what I use and why. Well, first up, I will be taking my trusty MacBook Pro. This is a 2010 model. Yeah, I may get a newer one sometime, but the lottery tickets haven't been kind as yet. So no, there is no immediate change of this, certainly not for travelling about with. It has travelled all over the place and it's reliable. I know what I can do with it. So there we go. Oh, this has still got Photoshop CS6 on it. So yeah, it's aging a little bit. A camera. I'm going to be taking a DSLR. I'm going to be taking a Canon 5DS. Why not mirrorless, something like an R5? Well, once again, I've had no business reason to swap the 50 megapixel 5DS for an R5. I've got a video and some articles looking at the R5. It's a great camera. If this fell in the sea, the insurance replacement would be an R5. It's as simple as that. But there is no reason to actually go out and get one right now. But I've covered that elsewhere. Lenses. This is the one people ask you about. Incidentally, I'm probably not going to be taking my EOS RP. 26 megapixel full frame, really nifty little camera. It's the one I use for filming this, although I'm using an old Olympus lens, adapted lens on it, 24mm, and it's what I shoot all the videos with. I'm not going to be taking that because I seriously don't expect to be wanting to shoot any videos whilst I'm on holiday. That's a bit too much like hard work. I am going to look at some point in doing some videos outdoors to cover things like tilt shift lenses and landscape and other stuff like that. But that's got to have a bit more serious thought about it. Lenses. TSE 24. This is my standard walk around lens. 24mm. Good focal length anyway, but 24mm with shift means I can do stitching, I can do diagonal shift, I can do all the tricks that I might want to do for landscape photography. And I will also take a 1.4 converter. This is the Canon Extender EF 1.43, so the Mark III one. This works particularly well with this, and it gives me a 35mm lens, a 35mm lens with shift. I don't expect to be using tilt. I'd almost put some money on it, saying that I won't have a use for tilt while I'm actually out and about taking pictures. Okay, so that's the one main lens. The converter gives me an extra. What else? Well, here is my trusty 7200 2.8L IS. That I've had for years. It is my standard zoom lens. It also works well with the 1.4 converter if I need a little bit extra length. I'm not sure. I always take it along with me, and I always end up getting some interesting shots with it. I just like it as a lens. Once again, this is quite an old lens, so nothing new needed. When I eventually switch over to mirrorless for my work, then perhaps I'll look at a few updates for lenses. I have allowed for that financial impact at some point in the future, but not right now. Another lens that will go in the bag is going to be the TSE 17. Now, TSE 17, just purely because it's a 17mm lens, it's an extra wide lens. needs quite a bit of care in use. This was taken with a 14, if I remember rightly. That was on an obvious holiday trip. That one was taken with the 24, so that's a nice looking print for that. So that's given that. You can use converters on this, but all this does is turn the 17 into the equivalent of this, and I've already got the 24. The 24 is the one I would take, and I say with the option of that. What other lenses? If I was taking a bigger bag, would I take other lenses? Well, I have in the past. Occasionally I've popped the fisheye lens in just for the hell of it. I've ended up not using it much. I don't know. The lens that often comes with me, and this is another one, an old one. This is Canon EF 2470 2.8L. This is the original one. Now, I'll put a link in the notes to this video to an article I wrote on the first time I really seriously took up digital photography. It was on a month-long trip to Colorado, Wyoming, and I took a lot of photos, and the lenses I took with me were the 2470, the 70 to 200, and the old 16 to 35. Now the 16-35 I sold off a while ago. That was the lowest quality of the lenses I had. And also I got other wide lenses. But we're talking of at least these lenses. Both of them were purchased in, this one was end of 2003, this one was bought in the start of 2004. They are still going strong. I am happy to use them on a 50 megapixel camera. In fact, if you instantly just swapped me for the trip and said, here, have an R5, as long as I had the EF adapter for it, I would still take these same lenses with me. That much has not changed. It is not the actual choice of lenses, and you can argue about makes of cameras and things as much as you like. These do a job when I'm being paid, and because I'm familiar using them, I have no desire to take a small compact camera with me. Now, I will have a mobile phone with me. I will have one that is capable of taking pictures. Will I use it for taking pictures? Almost certainly not. There is nothing more irritating than going somewhere interesting, seeing something that you think would make a great picture, and having what you consider a semi-rubbish phone. And that goes for any phone. If I take a photo, I want it to be capable of making a picture this big. Oh, and since I'm going to the Suffolk coast, there's a distinct chance I'll be interested in visiting a few interesting huge churches around as well. There are some great ones on there. So I want, if I take a picture that's interesting and I like it, I want to be able to make a print that big from it. Hence something like this. Now, that's my needs for it. But this is very much why I take particular things with me and what I do. There's one other bit that I'm going to take with me, which I wouldn't necessarily normally take with me, and that's a tripod. And that is this one. And that is, I've been asked to test this new one out from Rigetti. Now, I've used some Rigetti stuff, this geared head on the top here for a while, and this is a new tripod they've made. It is really, really solid. Does loads of tricks. I'll be covering it in a review at some point. It also does things like, there are the legs, there's the center column. Yeah, I know some people will have conniptions about the idea of a tripod with a center column not being good enough. I don't care. Here we go, open up that, and lo and behold, I have a small tripod. There are the legs, the carbon fibre legs. It's an interesting bit of gear, and well, since I might as well see what it's like to try it out. But as I say, we'll be coming back. I will have a proper review of this, looking at it, all the different features and things of it. But that's unusual. Normally, I do not take a tripod with me, because almost all my big prints and shots that, the ones that really mean anything to me, that almost all of them were taken hands-free. Not hands-free, tripod-free. Hands-free, no, I don't think so. Yeah, even the ones here. Now, some of the architectural ones, there's a few shots around here that were most definitely, if I'm working, I take one of these with me. But this is rather a nifty little device. But as I say, I'll put a link to some previous articles I've done about kit and things like that. And it really shows its age, but it's one of the older articles on the website from 2004, I think it is. It's about my first digital only trip somewhere. So if you're curious about stuff like that, have a look at it. Anyway, if I do get some great photos, I've got lots of new papers to test and things and stuff to look at on the Epson P5000 here. I will be using some of these new photos for examples of making prints and showing my workflow, how I go about going from a photo through to a print. But anyway, hope that's of some interest, and well, off we go. Cheers.